This is Todd from Black Spaces. Thanks for all your support. Please like and subscribe to help Black Spaces thrive. Stay tuned until the end of this video for a big reveal. To protest black people being drafted in disproportionate numbers to fight in the brutal Vietnam War, there was a black power saying of the 1960s and 1970s. Ain't no Viet Cong ever call me nigger. It's fascinating that Gareth Edwards, director and co-writer of the sci-fi war drama The Creator, wrote it as a crystal clear racial allegory. Artificial intelligence and the Asian East are the Viet Cong of the future, with a black hero, Joshua Taylor, caught in between. Joshua is played by John David Washington, the son of Denzel Washington, which clearly is a definite draw. I'll give you my unique critique of the racial dynamics of this film. But first, here is a spoiler alert as I explain the main plot points. Set in 2065, or roughly 100 years after the height of the Vietnam War, the U.S. is waging an all-out war against the amorphous republics of Asia, who the U.S. sees as harboring genocidal AI technology. The U.S. alleges AI detonated a nuclear bomb and wiped out millions in Los Angeles, including Joshua's family. The U.S. has created a last resort, trillion-dollar orbital weapon called Nomad to locate and destroy all AI before it leads to the extinction of the human race. This is what we are led to believe. The plan is for Joshua, as an underground operative, to infiltrate the rebellion and so-called go native. He must marry the messianic leader of the AI and human rebellion, Maya, who has taken the place of her father, the Nirmata, or the Creator. Maya has engineered a lifelike AI simulant child named Alfie, who has growing electromagnetic powers to stop Nomad. Thus, the U.S. sees Alfie as the weapon that Joshua must find so she can be destroyed. The hitch is that Joshua truly falls in love with Maya. The major plot line of the movie is that after finding Alfie, Joshua grows to love Alfie and becomes the father protector of the child. Maya purposely engineered Alfie to resemble the baby she lost from her pregnancy with Joshua. Joshua then joins the rebellion, as it is actually comprised of a peace-loving human and AI community who simply want the right to exist. Joshua's cover is blown right at the beginning of the movie during a Nomad attack, and he and Maya are separated. Joshua later confesses his betrayal before the dormant body of Maya. Although Maya is near death, the rebellion must keep her on life support. Before lovingly pulling the plug, Joshua pledges to fulfill Maya's mission of ensuring Alfie stops Nomad and ends the war. This movie feels like a combination of Apocalypse Now meets The Matrix. Edwards, as the director of the great Star Wars Rogue One movie, has made a sci-fi Vietnam allegory. I think the racial dynamics of the film mirror the U.S. racial politics of the 1960s and today in several ways. This film does a generally good job of this, but I'll explain where it falls short. First, it uses the Black Sympathizer trope. It is like many other sci-fi or alternative reality films. Joshua is a black character who goes rogue and becomes an ally to the rebellion of the oppressed. In this case, it's made up of Asian, brown, or third world peoples. All the major villains are white, very white. Similar films from the 1970s Black Power era include Sam Greenlee's gritty 1973 film called The Spook Who Sat by the Door. It's about a black former CIA agent who clandestinely trains an armed rebellion against the white power structure. Also, in the 1973 Conquest of the Planet of the Apes movie, there is the character of Mr. McDonald. He is an aide to the despotic Governor Breck, but sides with an ape revolution as they resist their racial enslavement. More recently, there's Detective Bailey in the 2004 Asimov-based film, I, Robot, played by Will Smith. Bailey eventually sides with the oppressed robot class once he learns of their genuine humanity. And there's the 2021 Star Wars Andor series. Imperial Army Lieutenant Gorn sides with the rebellion and the rural Aldani people against a colonizing galactic empire. But another reason Joshua may be sympathetic is because of his war injuries. He must use an artificial arm and leg. Thus, he is a cyborg who must employ technology to function. In the ugly racist language used against Native Americans, he is a half-breed. Second, the Creator employs the racial threat trope. An AI war is a proxy for a race war against a racial menace. It must be eliminated before it destroys the mostly white world. Director Edwards reminds us of the ways the Viet Cong and other South Asians were racialized during the Vietnam and previous wars as ghosts. In this Cold War conflict, their communism was feared to contaminate the free world and had to be terminated. In The Creator, U.S. soldiers slaughter sentient, compassionate AI beings as well as their human Asian counterparts like pests. It's not hard to miss from the rural village settings and actual rice paddy fields of the film that all poor and downtrodden humans who care for and align with AI are treated as racial collaborators or traitors. They are either beaten, bulleted, or bombed. Like the racist U.S. Army language of the 1870s Plains Indian Wars, the only good AI is a dead AI. U.S. immigration policy was used in the early 1900s against East or South Asian immigrants as they were considered a yellow threat. Racist violence against Black and Asian people today serves as a backdrop as we as audiences watch this film. Lastly, the creator embraces what literary scholar Dr. Sylvie Lee calls Afro-Asian love. Like many Black Vietnam vets, Joshua falls in love with and has a love child with a beautiful woman who is Asian. This film very tenderly portrays their relationship as well as the love Joshua eventually has for Al, his and Maya's AI child. It is very interesting that John David Washington is portraying this instance of Afro-Asian love. His dad, Denzel Washington, in the 1991 Mississippi Marsala film portrayed a similarly fraught Black-Indian love relationship that had to stand against a racist society. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, the Black Power and Asian American movements would at times align as a third world movement, partly in protest against the Vietnam War. Today, there are clear ways Asian Americans are allies within the Black Lives Matter movement, even though in the 1990s a series of racial incidents between Korean store owners and Black customers sparked outrage, and sometimes violence in New York as well as Los Angeles. It may not be coincidental the latter is the racial ground zero city of this film, but my substantive criticism of the film is that it overuses the American love story that must be at the center of nearly every damn Hollywood blockbuster, by Edwards making Joshua the sole Black sympathizer of the film. It seems like Joshua is simply driven by his interracial love motives to betray the white or human race. It makes his rebellion less political. He is not inspired to join the rebellion because it is a moral just cause, but because he's got hormones, genes, or microchips in the game. Also, the Edwards team might have done a much tighter editing job with this film. While the scenes between Alfie and Joshua are heart-wrenching and we all love a good cry, it would have been more effective if the pacing of the film did not draw out the sentimentality. Plus, there are some head-scratcher scenes. For example, once Joshua and Alfie board Nomad, it's not clear how a 5-year-old AI girl virtually goes unchallenged as she runs to and from the mainframe room of this flying military fortress and fries its circuits. But overall, the creator is definitely worth seeing. It has great special effects, an intriguing plot line, and is thoughtful about racializing the other. It should fuel interesting conversations in these times when there are racist fears of a brown and Black planet, as well as other fears of a hacked planet. And, as you could probably tell, I used AI to narrate this video. Exterminate. Again, please hit those like and subscribe buttons for more Black Spaces unique critiques.